Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. We have a lot to talk about this evening. We're going to, of course, talk about the Durham Probe Special Counsel and then get into the economy, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, but also, of course, the recession that I told you about and the stock market crash that we're seeing that I told you about in September of last year. On this channel, on the Stock Market Crash channel, and in the Federalist when I was published in October of 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, your support is greatly appreciated. To my super chat on this channel, on this live stream, thank you so very much. I can't do this without you people. So your super chat is greatly appreciated. Everyone here, JG, hello, Eric, hello, Luke, Kristen, Amazing Colonel, hello, everybody here, hello. Again, to my super chat, I can't do this without you. If you want to talk about the Durham Probe Special Counsel, the economy, the Trump's possible challengers in 24, or DeSantis and Trump, and other Republicans who want to go, you know, the former vice president, which is hilarious. We just heard that today, Pence. But anything via super chat, thank you. Your support is greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. When asked why he wrote an email to Comey, the FBI official wasn't sure. Then he goes on to say, well, I don't really remember the email. It's important for Sussman to have disclosed his clients, but you know how it is. See, these former bureau officials, it's really interesting. They utilize the United States government. They utilize bureaucracy. Okay, they are officials at the Bureau. So if they're under oath, of course, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right. If you get kicked off, there's only 100 people on here. But if you get kicked off, please go ahead and log back on. What they do, ladies and gentlemen, is the following. Did anybody get kicked off? Just out of curiosity. What they do is the following. They say, gosh, you know, we don't really know, I don't really remember, we can't talk about it because it's an ongoing investigation, it has to do with sources and methods, and they'll email. So what happened is, Michael Sussman met with James Baker. Michael Sussman was paid by Clinton. He was paid by Clinton to meet with James Baker. Okay, JG, thank you. Thank you, Laughing Dog. Everybody, yeah, just, I don't know why, right when we started, you know what I mean? But Michael Sussman was paid by the Clinton campaign. He was billing the Clinton campaign. Okay. He then met with James Baker. He then gave Baker and the Federal Bureau of Investigation a whole bunch of nonsense, lies, absurd claims and allegations against Trump. They then quickly found out that it was all nonsense. It didn't make any sense. That he was false. They quickly found that out. All right? And in the meanwhile, he lied to James Baker via a text message saying he was coming on behalf of himself. He did that because had he told another attorney, okay, had he told an attorney at the Bureau, that would have, he knew he was talking to another attorney. So he knew he was breaking the law, or at least he knew that another attorney would be, would not want to meet with Sussman, knowing that Sussman was paid by Trump's direct political rival. Okay? Then you have the FBI hiding Sussman's identity, the leadership, from agents. So you have people who, and they all hide behind, well, you know, we had to do that because of this or that, or because of other reasons. It certainly wasn't political. It just so happens, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that every single coincidence benefits Clinton and the Democratic Party. So the Washington Post today, the Washington Post went ahead and said, oh, it wasn't Clinton. It wasn't Clinton. What did the Washington Post say today? This is absolutely hilarious. Again, there's no evidence. Here we have, there's no evidence Hillary Clinton began the Russia probe. And the Wall Street Journal, obviously, Madam Secretary, did it. By the way, I want a Hillary Trump 2024. I want a Hillary Clinton Donald Trump 2024. Or Hillary Clinton DeSantis 2024. That has to happen. So I'm well aware of the rampant criminality, but I want her to be the nominee. That would be amazing, and it would vindicate many things I've been saying for years. But the Washington Post keeps trying to go back to, well, there was a meeting with Alexander Downer. But Alexander Downer was actually a person. It was actually a person who was actually part of giving tens of thousands of dollars of taxpayer money in Australia to their foundation. So Alexander Downer was linked to both Bill and Hillary. Then he meets with Papadopoulos. Andrew McCabe is given hundreds of thousands of dollars from Terry McAuliffe. Richard, hello. Everybody here, hello. Be at peace, hello. So coincidentally, just coincidentally, you have all of these people linked to Clinton. And they demand absolute categorical proof. Could you imagine, like, Rudy Giuliani going to another country is like the end of the world. It's the absolute end of the world. Oh my God, you're asking another country for help? Meanwhile, they're corrupt beyond belief. Hunter's emails show massive corruption. And the government knew this. The federal government knew this as they were impeaching Trump, which is kind of hilarious and sad at the same time. They were impeaching Trump because Trump had the audacity to ask another country to investigate mashed potato brains and his son when his son was already being investigated by the federal government based on shady business deals. So, and the president of that country stated that Trump never pressured anyone. Okay? You have to understand, for the past 5 years, and this is why we're descending rapidly in terms of stature on the world stage. For the past 5, 6, 7 years, okay, basically since 2015, Michigan Grandma, thank you. Since 2015, our stature, our standing on the world stage, and it's not Trump's fault. He was doing great work. He was doing a great job. Definitely more so since President Mashed Potato Brains Biden was elected. So you have China's basically saying they'll invade Taiwan when they want to. You see the geopolitical nightmare right now in Europe. You saw the Doha agreement that Biden completely botched. And those 13 Americans, those over 100 Afghans should be alive today. And it's like, you see all of this taking place. We have record highs in inflation. I should say the downfall for this country, or the downturn for this country and many other countries, started the last year of Trump's presidency, when you had enough hysteria. You had all of Twitter. You had all of Twitter as a platform for the Democratic Party. And honestly, like, okay, you can go back. President Trump made a mistake. Donald Trump made a mistake, a couple of mistakes on Twitter. And he, at the end of his tenure, he wasn't using it to his advantage. It was being used by the Democratic Party as a means to to create political momentum. And so, but they had all of Twitter, and I just remember I just always found it so hilarious. Whenever like there would be some topic of discussion, you'd see caution, caution, caution. This has been deemed untrue. This information is untrue. Caution. When you are what you're reading right now has been refuted and debunked. It's been debunked. Debunked. Don't believe your lying eyes. Don't do it. Then you have this. I watched a debate recently. Love Tim Pool. Michigan grandma! Do you think Sussman will testify? I think Sussman will testify only if he feels he's on the ropes. Great question. Great question. Excellent, excellent question, Michigan grandma. Thank you so much. Sussman will testify if he feels he's losing. And I think that the case is pretty clear cut. He probably should testify. And if he honestly, if he testifies, that could possibly be the best thing he does. But also, it's very simple. I mean, he's caught between a rock and a hard place. So if he testifies, he's going to have to answer why he lied on that text message. And I don't know what kind of excuse he would give. But if he does testify, he also could give his side of the story pertaining to what he thought James Baker. So James Baker, Michigan grandma, everybody here. See, Sussman is telling the truth. He's telling the truth, and he also lied. Does that make any sense? He lied to James Baker, but he's also telling the truth that Baker knew he was going on behalf of the Clinton campaign. Does that make any sense, everybody? So, Michigan grandma, thank you so very, very much. To my super chat, thank you. So, he lied. He knew that he was speaking to an attorney, and he knew that the attorney and a text message, if he wanted a meeting, he had to. The next question that he would receive if he said, "Hey, Baker, I want a meeting with you," is, well, why do you want the meeting? So he just went ahead, Sussman, and said, well, I'm not coming on behalf of anyone else, knowing very well he's going on behalf of the Clinton campaign. Okay? But on the witness stand, he'll have to either explain, why he lied, which I don't know how he'd get out of that. Like Peter Strzok, thank you again, Michigan grandma, thank you. When Peter Strzok, the agent that said, we'll stop Trump at the Bureau, when he was questioned, his answer was, well, I was very upset of something Trump said. So he goes, like, all of these people, what these people do is they know that liberal sensibilities, the sensibilities of morally superior, wonderful Democrats, are infused within American politics. Trump is just a menace to democracy. So, thank you again, Michigan grandma. You're wonderful. Thank you. So what they do is they say, well, I actually conspired. So they say, I actually conspired against Trump. I conspired against Trump because he's just so mean. And that's not like, they're basically caught red-handed. They're caught with their hand in the cookie jar. They're caught red-handed. It's not even a debate. Like, it's like, could you imagine if it was an outgoing Republican administration and you had a bureau official like Strzok saying, we'll stop Clinton? Could you imagine? Like, they never flipped the script. They never put themselves, they never turned the tables or put themselves in the shoes of another person. Or they never in a million years put themselves in Donald Trump's shoes. Okay, they would never do that. Anything they do to Trump, they believe is warranted. Anything. Like, you saw the way that Democrats were just trying to flip people's hats off their head. I mean, could you imagine if the reverse were true? It would be the end of the world. I mean, these are the people who talk about civility and talk about, like, fractures in society. They're disowning friends, family. This was a whole thing. Like, people were encouraged. They would take videos encouraging others to flip a hat off of somebody. And it's like these people believe, the Democrats, morally superior, wonderful, highly educated liberal Democrats, believe that they're on this, like, religious crusade, this, like, spiritually enlightened, like, they've done away, many of them, with God or religion, and they're atheists, but they've filled the void of spirituality or religion with politics. And it's like they believe that they are on this, journey to, like, save the country and planet. It's like everything's imploding under their watch. Everything is imploding under their watch. It's like Steppenwolf, hello. It's like they can't. When the Washington Post says, again, there's no evidence Hillary Clinton began the Russia probe. They actually want, okay? They actually want, like, a signed confession. Like, they want a signed confession, okay? They want an actual, like, they want a confession, like, signed in blood, that says that Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, Clinton, Mook, Mark Elias, everyone conspired with each other, and it was like basically they huddled up, and it was like a football game you had in like middle school, or whatever, a football game where like, you go this way, I go that way, I'll throw you the ball here, and then it's like they expect, like, all these people to just admit they huddled up and they decided what the plan was and what they were all going to do, and then they said, go democracy, and then they just went after Trump like that. That's what they want. That's what they think. Like, look, at the end of the day, it's like, you're not going to get any of that, but you already have enough. There's already enough evidence for the statutes pertaining to government officials conspiring against political opponents or conspiring and to defraud the American people. I wrote, and it was published in the Federalist, that Comey and McCabe should be charged under 18 U.S. Code 371. They already have enough. They already have enough evidence. It isn't rocket science. They already have enough evidence. Okay? What Durham wants to do is he wants to wait, no doubt, until the House and the Senate is Trump Republican. Then you'll have corresponding lawsuits. Investigations. Okay? Slowly but surely, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to have, like, Twitter has changed. I never thought Twitter, I knew it would be like either going bankrupt or something would happen. Then when Elon Musk purchased about 9%, I said that he's going to buy the company. And then some people said, oh, no, he's not. And no, he's buying the company. And he eventually purchased the company. I was right. But it's like, I agree with you. Be at peace. There is a conflict. Look, the jury, if there's a hung jury or a mistrial, okay, it'll be because, there are people who are Democrats within the jury who just don't want to convict, anyone linked to Clinton. Again, though, that is going to be, you see, it's actually going to be easier to convict somebody on the 18 U.S. Code 371 statute than even like what's going on now. Reason being, it's actually Sussman is telling the truth. That's the point. Sussman is telling the truth. That's what I don't think, like, it's so counterintuitive. But if there's a mistrial, it'll be because actually Sussman is telling the truth, and you had jurors that didn't want to believe, or that didn't think the FBI didn't know. They didn't believe the FBI was duped. They believed people like Comey were just fine with investigating Trump's direct political rivals, knowing that Clinton hired and outsourced people like Sussman. They were fine with that. That's the point. That's the point. The whole point is, if there's a mistrial, it actually bolsters the case for future indictments in a weird, bizarre way. I mean, that's like, I'm pushing it now in terms of looking at something from the glass is half full. Obviously, it'll be a setback or disappointment. I'm not like out of my mind. It'll be a setback, but you have to understand, like, these are the same people. And I'm going to go back to 2016. I know people, why do you always bring up Bernie Sanders? When the DNC emails came out, I had Twitter, and I remember the Hillary bots and the vote blue no matter who people. Oh my God, they were laughing at the DNC emails. Is that all you have? And they were going after, now, I mean, Bernie Sanders is a tool of the Democratic Party. I'd vote for Trump a million times over. Bernie is, the reason I wanted Bernie Sanders was because I wanted somebody who opposed the Lincoln Project. I should have there's a direct line between Bernie Sanders and Trump, 2016 and Bernie Sanders 2016 and Trump, and Donald Trump. Which is interesting, too, because you have people on the left who are like, oh, Trump is so horrible. It's like, well, you are voting alongside the Lincoln Project, Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld people. They don't care. To them, never-ending wars and counterinsurgency conflicts, they don't care. They don't care at all. They have a world with policies that they really care about and cherish that Democrats will never, ever, ever, ever implement. Like, for example, there was this debate that I was watching recently. It was on Tim Pool, and it was with a left-leaning, wonderful, highly educated, vote blue no matter who person, young person. Okay, mentioned me on Twitter a couple of years ago saying, oh, you don't want to become H.A. Goodman because you have to vote for the eventual nominee, or I don't even know what it was. It was something about Bernie Sanders in the nomination. Anyway, which is hilarious because people on the left, they see me as like their biggest nightmare. Like, they don't want to become me, like somebody who was on the left, who saw how corrupt it is and how much of a racket it is, and they don't. And voting for Trump or DeSantis, they think that it's like, oh my God, he's lost his mind. Meanwhile, they're still stuck in like an absolute cult. Like, it is an absolute cult. But the interesting thing is, Tim Pool was very good, very patient, and JG, you saw that, and this gentleman was like saying, oh well, you like the Green New Deal. And Tim Pool was like, yeah, what I'm thinking is that, well, wait a second. If you're voting Democrat, so this gentleman is voting Democrat because he wants a Green New Deal. He wants Medicare for all. He wants to pack the courts, let's say, abolish the filibuster, universal basic income. What else does he want? Literally none of these things will ever in a million years be implemented by Democrats, ever. Then there's the issue of cheating Bernie Sanders. which will happen in 2 years. I think I'm running again in 2028. You'll be cheated then. I'm running in 2032. You'll be cheated then again. 2036, can I get anybody to help me out? I'll be 105. You'll be cheated then. They will never stop cheating Bernie Sanders. Ever. So the Democratic Party will never give, they're not even giving, it's taken them a million years to even get to the point where maybe possibly they'll abolish student debt, which they won't even vote for Medicare for all on the floor of the House. And then this person recoiled when he heard Trump Russia. That is the biggest conspiratorial theory of all time. Then it's like they talked about, okay, there are things on YouTube that you cannot, there's nothing pertaining to the left that you can't talk about on YouTube or Twitter. Nothing. You can literally talk about anything. You will not get demonetized, nothing. You'll be able to talk about anything. There are numerous topics you can't even mention. Conservative topics you can't even mention because it's against guidelines of any social media platform. And they're normal topics of discussion on various, issues. You can't even talk about the geopolitical issue going on without it being a huge problem. You can't talk about any topic deemed to be a sacred cow. And so then they were talking about censorship and, where media has the bias. It's the media obviously has the bias. They're all activists. Most of these people are activists for the Democratic Party. They would never allow mashed potato brains Biden or Madam Secretary to be treated in the manner that Trump was treated. It would never in a million years happen. That would never happen. And so the double standard is obviously there. There's a huge, huge double standard. But it's interesting, if I was debating that person, I would be like, well, was Bernie cheated in 2016? Yes or no? Yes or no? Give me an answer to that. Yes or no? Why was he cheated? If he wasn't cheated, why did Debbie Wasserman Schultz resign? Well, if he wasn't cheated, then what was the point of the Kremlin hacking the DNC to inform the country that Bernie was cheated? When Democrats say another country sided with Trump, what they're trying to say is another country informed the world of how horrible Democrats are, and we can't have that. We can't have that. We can't have other countries informing us of how despicable Democrats are. I mean, who do they think they are? Who do they think they are? It's only the Washington Post who could come out with the Access Hollywood tape, which was supposed to swing the election. JG, hello. And so it's of course, every 2 seconds, it's unbelievable. If you got kicked off, please go ahead and log back on again. We were actually, moving up in the world here, but okay. But it's so easy. It's so easy, and Tim Pool had a lot of patience, and he did very well. It's so easy to debate somebody on the left regarding any topic. Objectively, Trump's economy was better. Objectively, shutting down economic activity, ending economic activity 2 years ago is the reason we have inflation. You can simply ask the person that Tim Pool was debating, is inflation good? Is it a tax upon the poor? Is it a tax upon people? Is it a tax upon everybody? Is it a tax upon, is it an actual tax? It is. You're basically paying. You might be, if Democrats give you a stimulus check and things are more, if Democrats provide a social safety net, or they're the ones that push or defend the social safety net, which I do agree with, okay? What is the point of advocating a social safety net while also presiding over record highs, 40-year high in inflation? So when they say, well, childhood poverty was alleviated by Biden, mashed potato brains. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You're giving people struggling with poverty a check from the government, while at the same time your policies are making gas, energy, food, everything, life more expensive. Steppenwolf, hello. It's like everything they do is the morally superior liberal Democrat votes Democrat because they truly believe they can look in the mirror and say, I am so moral, I'm so wonderful, I am helping humanity from the mean Republicans who happen to preside over a great economy and a foreign policy that doesn't entail. Then I would say you're okay with voting for the Lincoln Project people, the Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld people. That's okay. You're okay with that. You're okay with a foreign policy, a militant foreign policy, that you're just going to go ahead and send Americans off every time one of these people, want a never-ending, perpetual counterinsurgency conflict. I mean, there's like a million things to say, and Tim Pool did a fantastic job, but it's pretty. It gets back to Bernie Sanders being cheated. They're not serious. You have a whole lot of people who truly believe this is like their life's mission, like Medicare for all or addressing systemic injustices. But the systemic injustices are exacerbated by inflation, by high gas and oil prices and food prices, or shortages. You have, if you want to talk about a systemic issue, millions upon millions of people, if you want to say there are marginalized communities, millions upon millions of people now have to face a tougher existence because of Democratic policies and how they messed up and completely tanked the economy. And I wrote about that last September. First, last! Stimulate yourself with whatever this might afford you. Thank you, First Last! Thank you! Yes, I appreciate that. First, last, thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very, very much. First, last, yes. Thank you. Exactly, JG, exactly. These are the people who, they want a Green New Deal, first, last. They want a Green New Deal where everyone drives an electric car or an electric vehicle, not caring about the fact that nickel, cobalt, lithium, all of these metals are mined in countries where people are suffering, where the indigenous people mine these metals in very, very, terrible work in a terrible environment. People risk cancer. They risk all of these. It is very, very difficult to mine cobalt, lithium, and nickel and other metals. Very difficult. So I mean, you have these extremely dangerous environments, what I want to say, and they don't care. They're like, well, as long as I'm helping the planet. It's like, you're not helping the planet. Sri Lanka now is in bankruptcy in large part because of the global response to what, or I should say in part, maybe if not in large part, in part. You can't. The repercussions of ending economic activity are profound on a global scale. And you have to understand the way they see things is like 2 weeks ago is ancient history. 2 weeks ago is just ancient history to them. It's like ancient history to them. Like what happened like 2 years ago? 2 years ago we went from record lows in unemployment to 22 million people unemployed. 22 million people unemployed, which gets us to our terrible economy. Now you look, ladies and gentlemen, if you go ahead, and here's like exactly why. First, last, thank you, Lou Maldonado. Thank you, Lou. Lou Maldonado, thank you. Thank you, Lou. First, last, greatly appreciated. As always, first, last. What happens in a recession? Corporate profits tank. So this is corporate profits after tax in the United States from 2000 to 2020. Okay? Herschel Ballard! Herschel Ballard, thank you. Thank you, Herschel. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, first, last. Michigan Grandma, thank you to my super chat. I can't do this without you. I appreciate your support. I really appreciate your support. And I enjoy these live streams, and I'm glad you do as well. Everyone here, Herschel Ballard, first, last, Lou, Michigan Grandma, everyone here, Eric, JG, Luke, everyone here. If you look, 2006, corporate profits after tax, 1.4 trillion. Okay. Went down all the way to 1.1 trillion, which that decline meant a lot. And the numbers are a little bit different now. The economy has grown, obviously, so the numbers are different. But 2008, you're looking at around 2000 to 2000 to where it was from 2004 to 2005. The economy contracted, or the corporate profits declined to where they were at around 2005 when 2008 when the recession in 08 hit. Okay? So you're looking at like a 2 to 3 year, like the market tanked. When corporate profits decline, the stock market, the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, global stock markets, what they do is they will crash or they will correct to where corporate profit, to where the valuations address the corporate profits of years earlier. Okay? And you can look, the Dow was around 25,000 a couple years ago. Okay, around 24,000. Okay, you can look right here. You know, it's not like, you know, this is pretty clear cut. You can go ahead and look. In April, you can just look at everything right here. On November 7th of 2007, okay, you had 14,000 in the Dow. Okay? And when I said last September the market was going to tank, you had 14,000 in the Dow on October 5th, okay, of 2007. By 2009, it had gone down to 7,062. You go from 14,000 to 7,000 in the span of 2 years. That's what we're looking at, people. We're looking at something below 25,000. 25,000, you can look at, we were at 25,000 in 2019. If corporate profits are something around 2019 or 2020, in June of 2020 we were at 25,000 in the Dow. Forget about the Nasdaq; that's going to get obliterated a lot more. But we're heading into a recession with interest rates going up. So you can see the stock market. You could pretty much see the stock market and the corporate profits after tax. It's pretty much a very similar chart. Well, this is from 2000 to 2000. So if you just looked at, let's see, the 5-year. Well, so again, that's just from 2000, but so that's you know, the political angle or element here is that you're looking at a really bad downturn economically. I mean, this is going to go way down. Okay, you know, it's not. This is, look, if you go the past month, up, down 1,000, up 600, down 1,000, up 600, down 1,000, up 600, down 1,000, up 600. But then it doesn't take like, you know, this brilliant, you know, technician or this day trader, this person, you know, versed in technical analysis to realize that you go up 600, down 1,100, up 600, and then down 1,200. Eventually, it's going to go down 2,500, down 1,600. I mean, this isn't rocket science. The volatility could either end with the market saying, okay, we've had enough, it's been a correction, and you know what, things are actually better than we thought, or it'll end on the negative, on the downward side of things. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Is my volume too high? Okay, hold on one second. Is my volume too high? I don't think it is. Is it? Is the volume too high? I mean, let's see. How's this? The volume better? Volume better? Am I yelling? Volume better? Mackenzie, hello. How's the volume now, ladies and gentlemen? How's the volume? So basically, that's what, and ladies and gentlemen, check this out. What is this? This is an article in the Street today. Okay. Bitcoin price may crash to 8,000. Did I not? I mean, I have a Bitcoin crash to 10,000 or lower channel. I mean, I have it right. I mean, now people are talking about that. Okay, and that is something now that, like, people are like looking at, and they're saying, okay, this is taking place. This is happening. I mean, I have the Bitcoin crash to 10,000 or lower channel. I don't want that to take place. I told a friend of mine who invested in Bitcoin today, he was not happy. I was like, look, you know, I think it's going to go down below 10,000. He was not happy. Then you have the Street. Bitcoin price may crash to 8,000. And I've been saying that. Okay, I've been saying that. Um, Here, a lot more room downside. And I've been saying, when you break 30,000 consistently, 8,000 is the ultimate bottom. So I think we have a lot room to the downside, especially with the Fed being restrictive, said Guggenheim Chief Investment Officer. So I'm gonna apply to become the Chief Investment Officer at Guggenheim because I've been saying the same thing. Not. But I have been saying the same thing. I said the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. This is right here. I mean, you have a situation where when Bitcoin gets to 10,000, unfortunately, you have companies tied to the future of certain companies are tied to the price of Bitcoin. Exactly, JG. So when you look at Bitcoin is at 29,000 now. Okay, gets down to 25,000. 20,000, and then from 19 to 10,000, it's really like, and also, see, we're still above 30,000 in the Dow. That's huge. Again, like I'm not like I think that you'd have to be nuts to be day trading in this environment. I mean, that's Larry, hello, there's really no way to day trade in this environment. You know, I don't think that anyone should anyway. But I'm not like, into like trying to, predict a stock price or the price of Bitcoin. It's going to go down. But if it's below 30, if it's 29,000 when the Dow is above 30,000, what do you think happens to the price of Bitcoin when the Dow goes below 30,000? Or when there's that one-day crash. See, people are not realizing that this is only the beginning, unfortunately, of a tremendous crash in the markets. This is not the end. This is, unfortunately, the beginning. And first, last, a lot of these companies are Ponzi, essentially Ponzi schemes. They're relying on money given to them, new money to pay or to ensure that old money either remains at the company or them going ahead and paying them back. So once the Dow Jones gets below 30,000, Bitcoin will get far below 30,000 as well. Even 29,000, it's at 29,000 right now. When you broke below 30,000 consistently, 8,000 is the ultimate bottom. I think we have a lot more room on the downside, especially with the Fed being restrictive. So I've been saying this. I've been saying this, ladies and gentlemen. I have been saying this. And unfortunately, this is going to be like a moment in this generation. It's going to be a moment where, like, the dot-com bubble was a moment when I was young, and I remember it, but this is a lot worse. JG, remember the dot-com bubble? And so it's like this is much worse. Much, much worse. Because now you have, the market cap of these companies, Tether has a $70+ billion market cap. What happens to all that money that, it's not nearly worth 70 billion, but they have, but you know what? There's, I guess, the equivalent, you could say, of $70 billion in cryptocurrencies. I guess that fiat money that people had, that they used to buy crypto, unfortunately, is just going to evaporate. Unfortunately, I don't say that with glee. I don't want that to take place. But like the obsession over Trump, like it's like a curse. It's a curse. The obsession that people had over Trump, the obsession that media and Democrats especially had against Trump, led to unforeseen consequences, ladies and gentlemen, unforeseen consequences. When you inflate a bubble, see, we took a good economy, a very good economy. We now have the national debt is greater than GDP. When was the last time that happened? When was the last time the national debt was greater than GDP? I don't know. I don't think it's ever happened. It might have happened, what, 80 years ago. But you look, ladies and gentlemen, it's like we have an economy that is, it's in free fall, but in terms of, like, for example, geopolitics, you could type in China and Taiwan. You go ahead and type that in. So just here, China and Taiwan. So that is not going to be, you're not going to ban imports from China. And they know that. You would completely, Biden's Taiwan pledge. So, see, and here's a problem with mashed potato brains. The man is completely incompetent at diplomacy. Maybe because they're embarrassed of mashed potato, I don't know. But imagine if China invades Taiwan. Then you have a huge geopolitical problem. A huge geopolitical problem. And you can't address that geopolitical nightmare in the manner that we've addressed the recent geopolitical nightmare. And by the way, that country's currency is doing quite well. Literally everything mashed potato brains touches turns into the fertilizer that's now 500% more expensive. It's like we haven't helped the country being invaded now in Europe. Okay, we've helped them, but at the end of the day, they've suffered a tremendous catastrophe. Why couldn't mashed potato brains have negotiated some kind of deal, treaty, peace, engaged in some peace talks? Why isn't that possible? Democrats went from being a political party that actually wanted peace, maybe you could say, but I mean, if you can look, and you can look, it's like they're two sides of the same coin, oftentimes, Democrats and Republicans, in terms of never-ending military conflict. But imagine what takes place. Imagine what takes place if we have another geopolitical nightmare. What's the market cap of Coinbase? Something like, what, 40, 50 billion, something around there? I mean, all of these companies, like, you have institutional dollars that will leave, okay? So not all of it is going to evaporate, or just not all of it's going to be lost, but you will have tens of billions of dollars. The entire crypto market is what, 3 trillion? 2 to 3 trillion. Half of that is from institutional investors that just went in the past year and a half. So I remember a long time ago, like 20 years ago, I was studying to be Mark Morth. Hello, Mark. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so very much. Greatly appreciated. Mark, thank you to my super chat. I cannot do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Mark, thank you. Thank you so very much, Mark. Greatly appreciated. And so I remember like 20 years ago, this was in New York. Actually, I was getting trained in the World Trade Center to be a stockbroker. And I remember one of the like veteran financial advisors, stockbrokers, gave this this lecture, this speech, and talking about the market and history and like what he experienced. And he said, and Mark, thank you so very much. He said, one day, in the future, we'll see a 1,000 point drop in the Dow. And everyone was like, no way, 1,000 points? Oh my God. And now it's happening regularly. Now, if there's a 1,000 point drop, whereas 20 years ago, people were shocked, oh my God, what? Now it's like, if I do a segment, you see, I told everyone it would be 1,000 points, look what's, it's like, no, it's a correction, no big deal. I mean, to get anyone really caring now, if it's a 2,000, 3,000 point drop in the Dow, then they'll care. Unfortunately, I don't want that to happen. HS, hello. Mark, thank you so very much. Mark Morth, greatly appreciate it. This is Richard McConnell. Richard McConnell's big HS, I don't have it tonight. I don't have my Richard McConnell tonight. I don't feel the ghost of Kentucky inside me. Oh, Trump. Trump is a menace to democracy. I can't tell his 70+ million supporters that. Oh, I love President Trump. He's fantastic. Oh, I love him. Where is he at? Oh, hi, Donald. How are you? Oh, I can't stand him. I can't stand Trump. He bothers me. I don't think he likes me either. HS, thank you. I just don't have the Mitch McConnell tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully the Mitch will come back to me. But it's like this is Florida Man Bear, hello. Mitch McConnell is like, my God, can we get a different Senate? We'll need a Senate majority leader. And if Republicans, thank you, HS, if Republicans get Mitch McConnell back again, my God almighty. Although the one good thing about him is that he's kind of like has no loyalty. So he'll just gravitate towards, it'll just, Missy, thank you. He'll just gravitate towards whatever he thinks is good for them. Mile Hyde, 5280, hello! Hey, H, take a look at each year since 2001. I believe the market dropped. Some years worse than others. Check it out. I will. I have to check that out. I didn't know that. It was really terrible on that, horrible day. I remember we had at the brokerage company, the brokerage firm I worked for, we had one of the people, one of my friends, who was actually in the building, one of the buildings. Mr. T, thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Mr. T. Thank you. Mile High 5280. I remember that it was nuts. Like, I remember turning on my not flat screen television. Did not have a flat screen. And seeing and then saying, oh my God. Like, in my head, I said, my first reaction was, why would they do this to us? Why would this happen? And then I said, oh man, I'm not going to get to know, this friend of mine who was there. I thought that he had lost his life. And everybody was like, well, where's this person? Where's this person? Because we had like people training, and there was one person from the location, the branch office that I worked at there. And thank God he survived. Thank God he told a story. He goes, he said he heard on the intercom something along the lines of please don't panic, something like that, and that to some people that meant, oh, I'm going to go back up and get my purse, or I'm going to go back up the stairs and get something from the office. And he just kept going down. So thank God he was, and then eventually we heard that he was safe, and it was like, oh wow, thankfully he's okay. Mile High, thank you so very much, 5280. I'm going to check that out. Wow. Yeah, I remember being, I forgot which building it was, but I worked for Morgan Stanley, and we looked down. I remember looking down from how the like where I was. It was probably towards the top of the building, and my God, it was like it was so high up, people were literally dots, like tiny dots. And he remembered, the stories that he kept telling me, more stories also about my friend who survived, thank God. But it was just a terrible, terrible day. And then the screen, which is not even the most, not important at all, but everything was red. So obviously everything was, no, the next day, sorry, or the next week, or whenever trading resumed. So obviously not that day, but the next week when trading resumed, or the next couple of days after, everything was red. Maybe one thing green. First, last, I would have requested Turtle, but I didn't want to make you have to dance on command. Someone asking a comedian to do something funny. First, last. I don't need to be bribed to perform my Mitchell McConnell. The good people of Kentucky know that I'm always there for them with my with my long turkey neck. How's that? I just say a long turkey neck. I was voted most appealing and most attractive in my high school. As you can see from my visage, Mitchell McConnell got all the ladies. That's right. First, last, thank you. Thank you, first, last. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. First, last. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Mile High, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, isn't Mitch McConnell a very attractive... Ladies, and the ladies on this live chat, isn't Mitchell McConnell a very attractive man? Oh, he's so attractive. I'm the envy of everyone. Men want to be with me, and women want to be with me. I don't even know. I don't know anymore. JG, I don't know anymore. First, last, thank you so very much. First, last, thank you so very, very much. I'll do impressions, believe me, for Super Chat. Believe me. I'll even do impressions without Super Chat, but thank you so very much. First, last, greatly appreciated. Greatly. I could do a Bill Clinton. Oh, I can't do Bill Clinton now. First, last, thank you again. Hold on, let me see if I can do a Bill Clinton. Michael Sussman, Michael Sussman, after all we did for you, you billed us so much money, and you couldn't keep your big trap shut. Why didn't you just text? Why didn't you just text Baker that you were going on behalf of us? Now you got Robbie Mook and Mark Elias. With friends like these, who needs enemies? I can't do it. Can't do it tonight. Can't do Bill tonight. I'm not feeling the Bill Clinton tonight. So yeah, I mean, first, last, thank you again, Mile High, thank you. We're looking unfortunately at a day. Unfortunately, I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to take place. But we're looking at a day with where we have a 2,000 to 3,000 point drop in the Dow, or 2,000 to 4,000 point drop. I find it difficult to believe you have these like huge, gigantic hedge funds with billions upon hundreds of billions of dollars in the market. And I find it very difficult to believe that in one day or 1 week, they're not going to decide, my God, we are in a horrible economic environment. We're led by mashed potato brains. There's yet another geopolitical crisis on the horizon with China and Taiwan. Recession is here. Now, the question is, we're going to have a second quarter of negative economic growth. Well, what happens to Q3? What happens to the third quarter? First, last, thank you. What happens to the third quarter? How much do we? So one would think, right? One would think that we eventually start growing again as an economy. One would think that. Okay. One would think that the economy would rebound, but again, it's like, what if it doesn't rebound? What if the rebound or the recovery is anemic? Then what? Then what? At what point do people say on Wall Street, okay, that's it. We have to. Right now we need to get the money out and regroup because it's going to go a lot lower. How do they not know? How can they not see that if the Dow is barely over 30,000, once it gets below 30,000, it's a drop to 20,000. Okay, well, at that point, like, what I'm trying to say is the crash, the day that there is a crash that nobody can doubt, that people can say, okay, this is one for unfortunately, I don't say it with glee, I don't want it to happen because I know it's going to really, really hurt a lot of people. I've seen it with my own eyes 20 years ago. But you have a crash caused by Democrats. I'm not saying this as like this partisan supporter of President Trump or DeSantis or a former Bernie Sanders supporter. It's like it was caused by Democrats. When the crash takes place, like the crash is, we're seeing it in slow motion, but when that one day crash takes place, it'll be the fault of the Democratic Party. They're the ones who pushed vehemently to end economic activity 2 years ago. They're the ones who pushed vehemently to save the environment at the expense of gas and oil prices, which 14 states, including 14 14 states, including oil and gas associations. JG, I know, my God. That just difficult to wrap your brain around. Now we have global shortages. And the thing is like you have a global food shortage, or food shortage, but mainly a food shortage. Then if you have a global food shortage, don't you think maybe there should be a negotiation between the two countries that supply wheat to the world? Don't you think maybe there should be a negotiation? Why doesn't mashed potato brains want to negotiate some kind of deal? You have these Democrats who are like, Democrats who are like, oh yeah, we're fighting for democracy. It's like, you don't even have a functioning primary. What are you talking about? Fighting for democracy? You don't have a functioning primary. You don't even have a functioning primary. So there's not even a functioning primary that they can't even, like, in terms of their own political party, they don't even have a functioning political party, much less like the ability to pontificate about democracy. But my thing is like, okay, so let's see. Do you think maybe we should negotiate? Like, everything they do, the opposite is like what should be done. Trump would negotiate a deal. He would have negotiated a deal. Okay? That's what you need to do. You need to negotiate a deal. And, like, you don't have, the United States should not have another country fighting on its behalf. Or they're fighting on their own behalf, but you shouldn't have, like, we shouldn't be utilizing or fostering a never-ending crisis simply because it benefits one political party. And that's what's unfortunately taking place. That's really what's unfortunately taking place right now. Initially, no. Fine, initially. But see, even initially, like, we saw this coming for months and months and months on end. Okay? We couldn't stop it? You mean to tell me that mashed potato brains couldn't, why isn't he sitting down with both leaders? This makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. And then, I mean, it's unbelievable. That's why I started the stock market crash channel and the Bitcoin crash channel. Because, unfortunately, right now, people see that it's like, tough. They see that the economy's bad. They see that things are crashing. But it's not, unfortunately, and I don't say this with glee. I'm not saying this because I've been telling everybody since September of last year. Subscribe also, a shameful plug, to the Bitcoin Crash channel. And the Stock Market Crash channel also below in the pinned comment. Shameful plug. I'm not saying this because I want people to subscribe to the channel, which I do. I'm saying it because, unfortunately, I see it myself. I go to the supermarket after making sure, like, nobody around me is trying to jump me, and I see it myself. I mean, it's not good to go to the market $150, $200, and you're like, well, what did I buy? I'm like everyone else. I like high-end caviar and, $60, $70 wine, and, I'm joking, obviously. But what I'm saying is, like, who remembers that Naked Gun? You call this Merlot? Or no, what is this? What did he say? You call this Cabernet Sauvignon? Or I forgot what he's in the prison area. Who remembers that scene? Come on. But anyway, it's like we have not seen, unfortunately, we have not seen the worst. Yvette Moore! You are all being treated like crap by those who wish to destroy you. Exactly. I know. That's called living. That's called living. And Living in America. I live in America. Yvette Moore. Yvette, thank you so very much. Thank you so very, very much. Yvette, so kind of you. And very true. Very true, unfortunately. JG. Well, it actually gets you a roll of toilet paper, some chocolate, and also a frozen dinner. So you did forget that. It gets you a frozen meal. So for $200, you can get some goodies. Of course, your shopping cart will be pretty much empty, but Yvette, thank you so much. To my super chat, I can't do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. I can't do this without you. Thank you so very, very much to my super chat. First, last, everybody here. But it's like, it is demoralizing. I'm telling you, it's demoralizing. Like going to the supermarket is like, oh my God. Oh my God. And like, yeah. It is, Yvette, thank you so much. True also. But see, the thing is, what did I tell you? What have I been telling you, ladies and gentlemen, about the morally superior, wonderful, wonderful liberal Democrats? What did I tell you? Crazy Oliver, hello. JG, exactly. Crazy Oliver, hello. What did I tell you, lady? I said, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how bad it gets, it can get real bad. You can go ahead and like there could be ICBMs above. Missy, thank you. There could be ICBMs above as a tsunami engulfs you. While you're floating in your car and this gigantic bumblebee stings your nose, while your car, like, water seeps through the passenger windows, and you're like descending and like crashing about, and you look also at your Robinhood account and your stocks went to zero, and all of these things can converge. And lightning hits your car somehow, and you see a shark. You're like, what? Are you serious? Really? There's like you see a shark, actually like a big great white, coming at you while you're in your car. Okay? And if you're with a morally superior liberal Democrat, all of these things are taking place. You're getting, stung by a bee. Your stocks are at zero, no more 401k. You're about to descend into a tsunami, and you're getting hit by lightning with ICBMs above. Everything's they look at you and they'll say, at least Trump isn't tweeting. Do you understand? At least JG, at least Trump isn't tweeting. They'll say at least Trump isn't tweeting. Okay? Exactly, be at peace. At least Trump isn't tweeting. Nothing can happen. Do you understand? Nothing can happen for them to say we were wrong. Literally nothing. Literally nothing. Nothing can happen. It's not like and yeah, exactly. Like nothing could happen for them to actually say, wow, maybe we should have stuck with Orange Man. Maybe he was better. Maybe Orange Monster Menace was better. It's like there's nothing that could take place. You could literally I mean, look what's taking place now. We have mashed potato brains. Mile High 5280. Thank you. Thank you so very much. She'll have a hot dog and a soda at Costco on me. Mile High 5280. Very kind of you. And hey, Costco has good. Their pizza is not bad. And the hot dogs are pretty good. The hot dogs are pretty good at Costco. The pizza isn't bad either. Who likes Costco pizza? It's not bad. It's not bad. Not fantastic. It's not fantastic. But it's not bad. Mile High 5280. Very kind of you. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you so very, very much. You know, I appreciate that. Mile High 5280. Thank you. Like I always say, exactly. Crazy Oliver, you're reminding me. You could have a squadron of pigeons fly over your car, take like gigantic poops all over your car. As you have the sunroof open, so there goes all like the upholstery and the leather, and it's all over your face and head and hair. While you look at your phone and you're like, oh, there goes my stocks, there's a stock market crash. As a gigantic wasp and all of these bees come and sting you, as the ground breaks open and you descend into the center of the earth, while as you're descending, a lightning bolt from the heavens reaches just far enough to hit your car and God forbid. And as you're going, down, and you look and you're like, ah, and then you see this Democrat that you're with, wonderful, morally superior, and they're looking at you smiling. At least Trump isn't tweeting. At least Trump isn't tweeting. Yeah, this is fantastic. Yay! That's what would happen. That's what they don't care about. It's the only thing is that be at peace. Thank you. The only thing they care about. Do you understand? The only thing they care about is making sure Trump is nowhere near. It doesn't even matter. If you said to the average leftist, you can have a better life, better economy, better everything with Trump, they're like, no, I'd rather have a horrible life. It doesn't matter. Thank you. Be at peace. Thank you. And also, Mile High 5280. Thank you so very, very much. They just don't care. They're literally okay with every, like, look what's taking place in the economy. We'll go 7 more minutes. We'll do a good hour and a half. 7 more minutes, ladies and gentlemen. But they just don't care. JG. Exactly. It's like, you have to understand, they're like, and also like, they've never been happier. That's also the thing. I don't have Twitter, obviously. Never gonna give you. I'm gonna make you cry. As you're descending in the. Oh, that's good. That was pretty good, JG. Yeah, could you imagine? Actually, they'll be singing. It won't even be. It won't even be that. It's just it'll be they'll be singing that. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Kevin, hello. Yvette. Stock up on dry pasta and tinned anything. I agree with you. And packets of seeds to plant. I agree with you. It's cheap, lasts forever, and can't hurt to have it. Exactly. No, I agree with you. Pasta is fantastic. Pasta, tuna, rice. Um, I'm still thinking about what JG said. Yvette, I agree with you. Mark Morth. Mashed potato brains in favor of granting total power. I know. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. But that's mashed potato brains. Yvette! And stay away from... I know. It's the next thing. I mean, when did we start living in science fiction, like dystopian science fiction novel? I remember growing up, if like you had food and it fell on the floor, or like a candy, or like a chocolate fell on the floor, it was like the 3-second rule, like, and then you would eat it, you know? Certainly not me, but, you know, but now it's different. Now you call in SEAL Team 6 and, like, you know, a flamethrower and who knows what. Oh no, it touched the ground, no! Mark, thank you. Yvette, thank you. And I agree with you, Yvette. I agree with you, Mark. It's just really unbelievable. It's just really unbelievable. It's just, you know, I don't know what to say other than if I could say what I wanted, it would be even more interesting. But Mark, thank you so very much for your support. Yvette, thank you as always. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I don't think the average person is going to be as frightened. Like, you see, like, this attempt, it's called the super duper horrible, vicious, canine formula, you know, skin lesion. This is really bad. You know, everyone's like, well, you're gonna shut everything down again? Really? We have no... It's like, are you serious? Really? You're gonna do that again? You want to go ahead and do all of that again, huh? It's really scary. It's really scary. You have no idea how scary it is. It's very scary. You should be scared. Be frightened. Only we can help you. They're trying desperately. It's not working. People are like, we don't care. You know what? I'll deal with it. Whatever it is, I'll deal with it. This bug is so bad. You have no idea. You have no idea. Your head implodes. And it actually detaches from your body. And then other people play basketball with it, and they dunk your head into a basketball hoop. Yeah, that's how bad it is. You can get it. You can get it. But if you listen to us, you won't get it. If you listen to us, you'll be safe. It's like, I'll deal with it. My head detaches from my body, I'll deal with it. No problem, okay? I'd like to work. Can I work now? Can I please work? Can I just work? I just want to work and pay my bills. American Express has like a posse out for me already. They can't live without frightening you. They can't live without trying desperately. Oh my God. And they're like, you look at it, it's like they don't realize that I think the average person, because unfortunately it's going to get worse. It ain't going to get better. It's going to get worse, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it's going to get worse. So the willingness for people to kind of play by the rules, or I should say, the willingness for people to believe the next calamity, or to, I should say, respond to the next calamity in the manner they want, that's not going to be there anymore. the morally superior liberals, whatever happens, they're like, oh yes, you know, if CNS says this, then it should happen. But it's like people have had enough. They've had enough. It's only going to get, this is the thing, I don't say this with glee. I don't want this to happen. I don't say it with glee, but it's going to get worse. And I don't want this to happen. That's why I say, like, subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel below in the pinned comment. The Bitcoin crash to 10,000 or below in the pinned comment. I don't want it to get worse, but unfortunately it will. And this is actually interesting. We're going into an historic, like, Republicans will take the House and the Senate. And no amount of, oh my God, Trump is a menace to democracy, will be able to, like, circumvent what's taking place. Because people see, like, they see that the country is descending into, like, we're falling as a country. They see this. This is not, like, being hidden from anybody. We can see. And it's just a matter of time before, like, you look, everything Democrats talk about, oh, we're helping marginalized communities. You're causing the poverty with your policies. So, oh, we want to combat climate change. Well, the fossil fuels are at record highs. Oh, we want to address wealth inequality. Well, your policies caused not only the crash that we're seeing, but also people to lose money from their wages. To, like, real wages are down 3%. People to lose money, people to pay more for goods and services. It's like, it's just unbelievable. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. I'm going to head on out to my super chat. Thank you so much, everybody. Everybody here, thank you so very, very, very much. And to my super chat, I cannot thank you enough. You've been so wonderful. Thank you. Have a great evening. I will try to... I will do a segment tomorrow night. Wednesday, no. But Thursday, probably. So I'll almost certainly do a segment tomorrow night. Almost certainly. But thanks, everybody. God bless. Have a great, great evening. Thank you so very much. I'll see you very soon. Please be here for the upload. I should have an upload tomorrow at around, I would say, 11:30 or so. 11:30 Pacific time on this channel, AM.